Do you think the team's bonded together? Whatever, I'll make something up like this. Then I'll say, Varsity's coming up, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
How do you think that? And then I might go to you and say, how about Varsity? I'll say, perfect, thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Back to Gracie.
Thanks. Back to me.
Back to you guys. Back to you guys.
Georgia, when you start, or maybe when you first ask your first question, look at the time and try and think 3 minutes.
That's what I've said.
Do you know what I mean? So like look at the time when you start and then just try, obviously if it goes a little bit over, a little bit under, that's fine, but just like aim for that.
Yeah, I've said to these, aim for like 20-second answers.
I'll be here and Cam will let me know in my ear.
Yeah.
Like
that.
Shall I continue?
If I go like that, you've got 2 minutes, 1 minute.
Right. And then you just look at that as well, so I might have to cut one of your questions short.
Where's
That's 30 seconds. And then
That's you guys, you're never stepping back in the studio again.
where will you be?
Okay.
I'll be right here.
Oh right, okay.
Thanks, Georgia. Here's a bit more.
Hello and welcome to Quays News. I'm Gracie Jones.
And I'm Abigail Homewood. Here's what's coming up on today's programme. A fire at the Etihad Stadium sent a Manchester City merchandise stand into flames.
Andy Burnham's investors-led approach to reduce pollution in Greater Manchester has been backed by ministers.
Residents in Salford may face a council tax rise of nearly 3%. This is due to a new budget proposal by Salford City Council.
And House of Habasha, a local Ethiopian restaurant, has been nominated for a very exciting award.
Last night, a fire broke out at the Etihad campus ahead of the Manchester City Champions League game. The fire started around 6 p.m. local time near the stadium's main entrance. Fans were gathered around, preparing for a presentation that announced 3 new signings. Unfortunately, the blaze hindered the event.
Manchester City posted a statement on X just after 7 p.m. that the match would kick off at the original time of 8. All entrances to the stadium were open as usual. Manchester City has gone through the playoff round in the Champions League after a 3-1 win against Club Brugge. Last week, ministers confirmed that Mayor of Greater Manchester, Andy Burnham's investors-led approach to reduce pollution will go ahead. An £86 million package will be invested into cleaner buses and taxis to reduce congestion on key routes such as Regent Road.
We have Charlie here in the studio with us now. Charlie, how will this money be spent?
So the package will be divided up with £51 million going towards bus investments, the plans to introduce 40 zero-emission buses and 77 buses that meet the Euro VI emission standards. £5 million will be invested into local traffic management, £8 million will support moving Greater Manchester's taxi fleet to cleaner vehicles, and the final £22 million will be for administration, delivery, monitoring and other associated costs.
Okay, so how would this affect Salford residencies?
So from the plan, Manchester will no longer have a charging fee for clean air zones, meaning that residents will no longer face any direct financial impact from driving within the city. Also, the goal of this plan is to just generally improve air quality, which will have a positive impact on residents' health by reducing respiratory issues associated with air pollution.
Brill, thank you, Charlie.
Thank you for that, Charlie. House of Habasha, a local authentic East African restaurant, has recently been nominated as the Food Trader of the Year, making this the 3rd year in a row. James Benson reports.
At Salford Quays, within the Quays shopping centre, Cargo Food Hall is home to a variety of eateries. Among them, House of Habasha, offering authentic Ethiopian cuisine, has been nominated for Food Trader of the Year. A growing favourite, it's fast becoming a must-visit for food lovers.
Being obviously Eritrean Ethiopian, we can showcase our traditional food with our concept of how it looks. When you walk in, you see us straight away. We got that vibe of like it's a unique environment, and then obviously it's exciting for us to kind of like introduce that kind of food.
With its aromatic spices and traditional preparation methods, House of Habasha offers an authentic taste of East Africa, creating an experience that transports diners.
So I think that part of the atmosphere gets generated by the actual design of the place. It looks really good, it looks really authentic, the menu's nice and bright, and as soon as you walk into the door, it's like the first thing you see, it's hard to miss. Obviously you've got the food and like the interviews on the TV screen there, and that adds to it. Some of the things that I wouldn't know that like are on the menu appear on the screen, so that again adds to the hot sort of overall experience. And I think just being in a sort of bustling food hall in general is really good, and you get like atmosphere from all the sort of different corners of the world, if that makes sense, for all the food that's in here. So
each dish tells a story of heritage, carefully crafted to bring the authentic flavours of Ethiopia and Eritrea to Salford. Since its opening, House of Habasha has earned a reputation for its warm hospitality and rich flavours. This nomination recognises their impact on Manchester's food scene and their dedication to sharing East African culture.
We've been nominated, this is our 3rd time we've been nominated actually, 3rd time. So the first time was the Food Trader, the same what we got this year. And we were excited, a bit emotional obviously, like getting to be nominated from against everyone else that's been there for years. And it gives us the push, the extra push that we need. And being out there as an African restaurant as well, trying to show people like obviously when you put your heart and soul to it, you can get to great heights.
This is James Benson, Quays News, Salford.
Thank you for that, James. Salford Council's 2025 to 2026 new budget plans could see homes in Salford paying almost £100 more a year in council tax. But will this affect you? Our reporter Charlotte Martin has more.
Well, the majority of homes in Salford are Band A and B, and for Band A properties they'll see a £65 increase, but over 78,000 homes in Salford are Band D, and they'll see a £79.56 yearly increase. This is hoping to give the council a further £161 million in revenue. They're hoping to fill the £6.8 million black hole, putting more money towards child services, adult social services and health. Salford City Mayor Paul Dennett said, "This budget's focus on children's services, adults and health demonstrates our commitment to meeting the needs of Salford residents, one of the most important functions of local government. Adults and children's services play a key role in transforming health and improving outcomes for people, a focus reflected in our priorities of tackling poverty, inequality, healthy lives and quality care for all, and a UNICEF accredited child-friendly city. This still needs to be voted on by the councillors on the 26th of February.
Thanks for that, Charlotte. Looks like I'm going to have to watch the piggy bank from now on a little bit closer. Well, now for a little update on our Salford sports teams, we have Georgia Spratt in the studio with us for the latest.
Thanks for that, Gracie. I'm here today catching up with some of our very own University of Salford sports teams and seeing what the rest of the season holds for them. Joining me today is first team netball captain Laurie Broughton and our rugby union team's secretary Ben Perry. Thank you for coming in, guys. So, start with you, Laurie. So you're Bucks captain, first team, and they've recently been promoted and are now in a new league, higher league and top of the table. What do you think you're going to see in these next couple of games? Can you see another promotion on the way?
Yeah, so we've obviously got 3 games left, and I think if we just keep pushing the same as we have done, we've stayed top of the league this entire season, and just pushing through those last 3 games, I think we can definitely see that next promotion up to the second league.
Definitely. And what do you think's made this team so successful this year? How do you think we've come up and managed to go straight to the top and undefeated?
I think we all just get along so well, and we all just encourage each other so much. So in training, like, we're always pushing each other to try and get to the next limit and stuff like that. So it's just, we're all just such a good team together, and it works really well.
Yeah, do you think outside of training, do you think that's what brings, so like the socials that you go on, because I know that quite a few sports teams do socials, do you think that really incorporates like on-court connections?
Yeah, literally working together outside of that is just so fun. Like, you all just bond different connections, and it's just really good to see everyone work together like that.
Amazing. I wish you the best. And Ben, going on to the rugby now.
Hello.
So it's a different start for the men's rugby union, isn't it?
Yeah.
Excluded from Bucks because of illegitimate players, but you are still playing. But what is the impact that's had on the team?
Yeah, so we found out in summer that was going to happen, so it kind of gave us a bit of a rough start to the year. Means that we couldn't have as regular games as we wanted, which was a massive problem for getting freshers involved, because obviously there's not regular games you're not going to want to play. But we are getting through it. We've got a lot of games coming up now at this part of the year, but it was a bit of a problem. Yeah,
and obviously you've still got training, so you still train weekly, you've got friendlies coming up, you've had friendlies. Do you think has that impacted the morale, like knowing that a promotion's not available, or have you still got like enough boys involved with sport?
So it was a bit of an issue at the start, but we were just assuring the lads like there will be games coming up, and now we've got over that hump now of no Bucks games, so kind of up until varsity now we have a game probably every week, and it does give a positive impact to everyone, because now we know, we've actually got something to work towards.
That's what I was just going to say. We have got varsity coming up for both of you in the next coming months. How are we feeling about that? Do you think you're going to have a win?
I hope so. I really do hope so. I don't think we've beat Chester for, I think it must be like 10 years now.
10 years?
Team, yeah, which is not great. But I think the team we've got at the minute is really, really looking positive. So yeah, hopefully we can beat them.
Hopefully you're going to have to train though, aren't you? Yeah. And what about you, Laurie? What do you think about the girls?
I think we definitely have a strong chance of winning this year, as we're now in the same league as Chester and we have beaten them once already. So, but it's always a different environment on the day of varsity. So
amazing. Well, can't wait to see it, guys. And I'll pass back over to you at the desk.
Thanks, Georgia. Here's a bit more about our Salford sports teams. Cheerleading is often overlooked as a sport, but the Salford Sirens are determined to change that.
Facing significant funding challenges, they've launched a 1,000 kilometre running challenge to highlight the inequalities that smaller sports clubs face.
They want to prove their dedication both on and off the mat, Our reporter Abby Jones has more.
Cheerleading is more than just routines and pom-poms. It's a physically demanding sport. But despite their hard work, teams like the Salford Sirens face persistent funding challenges. To close the gap, the team has embarked on a 1,000-kilometre challenge, representing the distance to their furthest competition. For Vice Chair Esme Delvin, this isn't just about raising money. It's about addressing the undervaluing of cheerleading as a sport.
So, because we're cheerleading and we're not classed as a box sport, even though we're a competitive team, means the funding from uni is a lot lower. So all your bucks teams will get a higher amount of funding.
According to British Universities and Colleges Sport, or BUCS, high-profile sports like rugby and football receive 60% of university sports funding, while less than 3% goes to sports like cheerleading. This leaves teams like the Sirens relying on fundraisers to cover essential costs like kit and transport. The Sirens 1,000-kilometre challenge not only raises money, but also highlights the teamwork and resilience that define their sport. Each member contributes at their own pace, making this a true collective effort. Secretary Kira Sherwood explains how the challenge unites the team, emphasising their dedication.
Between us all, we kind of just chip away at it. So some people could do 35k all month and some people could do 60.
Cheerleading is one of the fastest growing sports in the UK, with participation increasing by 22% over the last 5 years, according to BUCS. With their 1,000-kilometre challenge, the Salford Sirens are tackling funding disparities head-on. But this is more than just about money. This is about proving that cheerleading deserves the same recognition and respect as other university sports. For club member Alex Borthwick, cheerleading isn't just about routines, it's about the experience of being part of a team.
I love the adrenaline at games. We perform at like sports games and I just love seeing everybody all together. Like everyone's so happy and smiling and it's just great fun.
With £155 raised so far, the Sirens are steadily making progress towards their £400 target. Initiatives like this are a lifeline for smaller sports, helping athletes cover essential costs such as travel and training. The Salford Sirens are proving that cheerleading isn't just a sport, it's a commitment to teamwork, resilience and passion.
Thank you, Abby. Chancellor Rachel Reeves announced that the government will be backing the redevelopment for Old Trafford. Our reporter, Jonathan Halvorsen, is at Old Trafford to tell us more.
Wednesday morning, Rachel Reeves announced that she will be backing the Old Trafford scheme. Manchester United have to decide if they want to revamp this stadium to an 87,000-seater stadium or build a completely new one with 100,000 seats. Andy Burnham, the mayor of Greater Manchester, has also promised at least 5,000 new homes and create a major footballing campus in the city. However, Rachel Reeves did not explain how the government will back the scheme, not committing any funds to the huge Old Trafford scheme.
I wish it can be revamped to be a bigger stadium in the whole world. Not in the UK, but in the whole world. I appreciate what Ineos is doing. Let's renovate the stadium to be the best stadium in the whole world.
Jonathan Halvorsen, Quays News.
Thank you, Jonathan. Well, before we wrap up, we couldn't let National Croissant Day pass without a little celebration.
To do so, we've treated ourselves to some croissants in the studio. Fun fact, did you know that croissants weren't originally from France? They were called kipfel.
No way! Don't tell me they're from Salford.
No, they're actually from Austria. Interesting though.
Well, you learn something new every day. And our reporter, Lily, has been taking over our socials today to try to find the best croissant in Media City. What's your favourite kind of croissant?
Oh, I feel like a bit of jam, bit of butter.
Oh, okay.
What about you?
Call me basic, call me boring. Gotta be butter.
Just butter?
Just butter.
Just butter.
It's the only way.
I feel like Nutella, chocolate croissant.
Ham and cheese?
No.
Oh,
sorry.
No ham and
cheese. No
ham and
cheese.
Didn't mean to offend you with that. I'm really sorry.
But yes, Lily has taken to Instagram and TikTok. You can head over to Quays News on both platforms.
Well, that's all from us. Thank you for tuning in and goodbye.
Goodbye.